Hey guys, welcome to TwoSplit. This year Samsung released a bunch of products, the Flip 4, Fold 4, the Watch 5, Watch 5 Pro, but in there they threw in the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. And this one, in comparison to the other ones, which I think had iterative updates, has serious upgrades, in my opinion anyway. Let's talk about it. All right, so we're talking about the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, right? And if you think about it, I'm not exactly sure what they're meant to replace. Do they replace your Galaxy Buds 2 or do they replace your Galaxy Buds Pro? Because there is a Pro lineup, and if you wanted to make a second one, it would be the Galaxy Buds Pro 2. And there's a Buds 2 already, and if you wanted to make a next iteration, it'd probably be a Buds 3. But this sits in between because it's a Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. But that's Samsung, they like to keep it interesting. Let's look at the case design. Externally, it's everything you've known for the last series of buds. It's the Squircle, which I personally like because it fits perfectly in my pocket. It's very comfy. The only difference here is that it now has a matte finish instead of that glossy shine that made it a bit more slippery. So this is a bit more grippy. So even if it scuffs, you just wipe it a bit and it just goes back to what it was. It still has wireless charging, it still has a USB-C port at the back, nothing new there. Going to the buds themselves, that's where the updates begin. So the buds are slightly smaller in comparison to the Buds Pro, right? Coming in at 5.5 grams or so versus a 6.3 grams. And to be honest, they fit better in my ear, but we'll talk about that experience later on. The buds themselves also have the matte finish, which makes them less slippery, which was a problem for me on the Buds 2 and even the Buds Pro, because once you start to work out and you're a bit sweaty, there is a chance that you're going to decrease the friction and it's going to fall out of your ear. I found that not happening with these. In fact, they never happened. So I did a long run. Well, it's a walk. I did a walk. Don't judge me, because Jay is looking at me like, run. Who runs? It was a walk, sue me. I did a long walk, all right, but it was intense. It was an intense walk. I was like going head to head with cars. Anyway, about my workout later. But I got sweaty and it didn't fall out. So something to keep in mind when you're considering these. So on that walk, I found myself not fiddling with it like I did with the Buds 2 a lot, because I'd have to adjust them whenever I took, make great impact or something that moved them a bit. That didn't happen with these. And they have a fitness test on the app so that when you turn them on, it tells you which tip works best for you. This is a feature that has come from way back in a lot of other buds, but it's here now on the Buds 2 Pro. I also didn't have to worry about the sweat, and it was raining a bit about damage because this is an IPX7, which means it could have fallen into 1 meter of water for 30 minutes and they would have survived. Basically saying you can't dunk them in 1 meter of water for 30 minutes and they will survive, but don't do that. And that is the highest in terms of ingress protection for water amongst the Buds series so far. So again, that's a solid upgrade. But going more to the things I think where the real upgrades coming are around the things they've tweaked. In terms of control, yes, very familiar. Samsung has always gotten this right. They're one of the few buds that lets you do pretty much everything, single, double, triple taps. The new thing here is that you can disable single tap in the event that you're maybe coming from one of those buds that doesn't allow a single tap or you're used to accidental inputs. This will let you just turn that straight off, and you can turn off double and you can turn off triple, and it still has long press for if you want to take the volume up or down, or if you wanted to use that for an assistant, you can go to labs and turn on the function that lets you tap the side of the bud to take volume up or down. So what I'm saying is pretty much you can have all your controls on the buds themselves without having to rely on the phone for anything like some other buds. Well, most other buds rely on one thing or the other because of the limited controls they allocate to the earbuds and force you to use either left or right. This one is so flexible that you can pretty much just chuck everything in there and just run and just go solo. So this is where the design sort of starts to take a turn for what I meant by new features. So this thing can figure out to use the gyroscope in here to know when you've been looking down for too long. You know how you're suddenly looking at the phone and you're swiping through Instagram and you forget you've been looking at it for like 2 days. So this thing has a timer, like 10 minutes or so, and it'll warn you in ear to say, yo, you need to move your head up once you enable it in the app. So to help you correct your posture, what, social media is doing to us these days. I tried it. I didn't realize I was looking down that long. I felt like I was looking down for like 10 seconds, I swear to God. 10 seconds, and the thing warns me, hey, look up, you've been down here for since Monday. I mean, it's one thing to worry about fitness, but where your earbud is concerned about your posture, I think that's a great feature to add. So one more feature these headphones take advantage of is your head tracking. I said earlier that if you look down for too long, it'll let you know when to look up. It also takes advantage of that for spatial audio. So this is like 3D audio, but with head tracking. So if I look away from the sound source, it optimizes the sound in the direction in which I'm looking. It's something you really have to experience to really get it, but it's really cool once you try it out. Moving on to another feature. This is a feature you would typically find on the XM4 and some others. It has things like speech to pause, recognizing when you're about to talk, basically, when you enable it. So once you start talking to someone, it pauses the song and goes straight to ambient mode so you can hear everything around you. And depending on how long you set that to last for, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it goes back to playing the song it was playing before you started chatting. So when the person is gone, you can shut up and the song will automatically resume. What else is improved here? Active noise canceling. Now this used to be gimmicky on a lot of other Samsung Buds, but here it's a serious contender. I mean, like serious. It's not industry leading standard like the XM4s, but it's really close. And I mean, it's really close. And these are the silicone tips that come in the box. So if I could find foam tips to replace these, I could probably get just as good a seal for the noise canceling that comes through on this. In terms of low frequencies, just cancels that right out. It does pretty well. The only difference is you can't select the level of active noise canceling. So it's either on or off, you know, that's really it. I guess AKG Tune doesn't want you to play with those settings, but there's only so much you can get for that price point. And if you really had to compare it, think about it. Those other earbuds that have industry standard are costing you a few $100s more in comparison to the $230 or so that you're gonna get this for. So that's something to consider when you're doing that trade-off. If I want active noise canceling as my primary feature for buying these, or is it ergonomics, sound, and everything else put together in the package before you make that decision. Something I did notice during my power run, walk. You need to stop looking at me like that. During my walk, all right? When I took them out, because I wanted to do something and I put them back in, the music didn't continue playing, even though they were connected. Typically, most earbuds I used, the music would just go on from wherever I stopped when I took them out. But this is intentional, apparently, because you have to tap to continue from where you paused. I don't know if that's a problem for some of you who think the convenience is too much to tap once. Let me know what you think in the comments, but either way, Samsung has done it this way so that you're intentional with playing the music when you put them back in your ear, so that you're probably not surprised that you were playing something that loud or weird in the first place. And of course, if you do lose them, you can use the app to make them chirp really loudly so you can find out where they are. And if that doesn't work within proximity, you can go into Samsung SmartThings Find and check where they were last connected on the map, and it'll show you where you last dropped them, hopefully not in water. So moving on to audio quality. They sound better than everything that has come before it, and they should. These are the new ones. They sound cleaner, and the active noise canceling does help you with that seal, so you're truly enjoying the music that's coming through. Sound separation is great. I played rock, I played mid-tier, I played classicals. They all sounded great. Not as fantastic as the higher end costs from the XM4s and the Sennheisers, but they were really good for the price you're paying. They're very, very good in my opinion. It will support your standard AAC and SBC codecs, right? There's no aptX or aptX or aptHD or aptHD, depends on how you pronounce it. That's not there. So if you're a generic Android or other device user that wants to take advantage of those higher quality codecs, you're not gonna find them here. However, this is one of the upgrades I was talking about earlier. This Buds supports 24-bit audio with Samsung's special codec. Caveat, it will only work on Samsung supported devices, preferably some of the new lineups, and from a supporting streaming service that will give you 24-bit audio. So that's something you have to keep in mind. But when I did try this though on some of those services, there was no way for me to tell in the app that this song was streaming at 24-bit audio. You'd have to really focus to say, yeah, okay, this sounds a bit better, but I think it'd be helpful if I could tell at what byte rate the song was streaming at to make it easier for me to know if I'm getting it as promised from Samsung. I trust you and all, but that's what it is. Again, there's that limit of you being stuck to the Samsung ecosystem to take full advantage of that, but they won't be the first to do this. This is what Apple does all the time. Do I think it's fair? I don't know. I don't work for those companies, but they feel that some features should be proprietary to their ecosystem. Let me know what you guys think, if that makes sense to the general consumer who wants to mix and match or got a gift from someone and you sort of have to force them into one ecosystem to try and take advantage of one software feature. Is that enough to just leave one device behind completely? The Google Pixel Buds Pro, which I'm trying out right now, really good headbuds by the way, they tend to have features that cut across Android devices. You know, very few features will be unique to the Pixel, but most of their features will work across all phones. Maybe because Google's invested in Android, who knows? But that's where my head is at. We can discuss it in the comments, and also feel free to leave me a like, and you can subscribe when I bring that video up so that we can make a comparison and discuss that furthermore. So how long do they last in terms of battery life? This is a downer for me. This thing with ANC on will give you 5 hours of playback, which is a step in the opposite direction when you're looking at the older devices, the Buds Pro and the Galaxy Buds 2, which kick out 8, 9, respectively, hours of play on a single charge. With the case, you're gonna get 18 hours. Is it too much of a downer not to buy this? I don't think so, because it does support quick charge. If I pop it in the case for 5 minutes, I will get an hour of playback. 5 minutes is nothing for that sacrifice, so it sort of balances out, in my opinion. And think about, you have to sacrifice battery when you shrink the size of any electronics, because you have to fit the cells in there one way or another. So it was a trade-off Samsung figured was worth making for ANC, for the gyroscope that detects your head, and all those other 24-bit audio, the drivers, everything else that's in here that's supposed to make it a better buy at the price range. What do I think? These successors to the Buds 2 or the Buds Pro, you know, whatever the successor is, I think it's squarely in the middle. Whatever Samsung decides that these are the direction they're going in. And I think for the money, they sound great, have good active noise cancellation, a decent set of features that sort of move it more into the premium tier, upgrades to the ergonomics that fit better, great IPX resistance rating. Other than the weak battery life, which you can fix really with the quick charging, like I said, for me, in my opinion, that's not really a big dinger. And the multi-point connection, which is a big dinger for me, because I like to use headphones that I can pair to my computer and pair to my phone, because usually when I'm working, if it rings, I want to just pick it up and keep doing what I'm doing. For some people, like my brother, he thinks that's annoying because when he's listening to something on his computer, his phone interrupts that call. He wants to be the one to make the choice to switch between them. I think that's just an extra step, at least for me anyway. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is it worth staying in the Samsung ecosystem just to take advantage of every single feature it brings to bear? Or are you gonna buy it anyway, just so that you can take advantage of some of those features and let it go? In fact, if you're running iOS, don't even bother, because when I did this video, there's no app that supports any of these features in there. It will pair. They're just regular Bluetooth headphones. When you pair them, you're better off buying something else that works a bit better. Are they worth $230? That's a different conversation. If you already have any of the other buds, Samsung, I think they're currently running a great trading. They do lots of great trade-ins, because if you did buy any of the new phones, chances are you probably will get this for free as a bundle. If you have any of the old buds, they're doing a trade-in that brings it down to $150, which I think is a good deal for everything that's coming. So yes, if you can take advantage of that opportunity, trade it in and get the next best thing, because this thing has Bluetooth 5.3, which is almost future-proofing your headphones for any new features that come on, and it's a stronger connection. If you don't have any of them and you're looking to buy and you're in the Samsung ecosystem, this is totally your go-to, again, in my opinion. But if you're outside any of those factors I mentioned before, you might want to consider other options. I will do another comparison video for the Google Pixel Buds Pro. There's too many buds around me. Oh my God, there's so many. Anyway, we're gonna get that done and we're gonna let you know what we think about it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss those videos. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.